Hey everybody, how's it going? So it is about 11:12 in the evening. I am going to be leaving work and I'd like to just share my ride home with you. Most of the awfulness of the rioting and the looting and all that stuff appears to be gone at the moment. But I just wanted to show you what's going on when you go outside because depending on what news channel you flip on, or what radio station, or what YouTube channel you're on, you will hear a lot of different stories as to what it is that is going on. So feel free to turn off the audio in this video and just listen, or just watch, I should say, and let your eyes tell you what they're seeing rather than, listening to me or editing tell you what you're seeing. So here we go. So this here is 27th Street between 6th and 7th Avenue, where I was screwing with my battery. I actually, it's kind of crazy because during these times, it seems like the world is ending, and the thing that I am most focused on is messing with my bike. And after messing with my bike, is trying to balance the 14 cell sets on this EM3 EV battery I have, because EM3 EV. They used to make these awesome 14.9 SP batteries. Now all they have are these sissy 14.6 SP batteries in stock. It's like, ugh, 14.6 SP. Gross. I want the 14.9 SP. So that is the police across the street. I am 3 hours late because we're supposed to be leaving curfew at 8 o'clock, and it is now 11. Luckily, they don't seem to care. I guess I don't look like a psychopath, so I'm good. So I ride. Usually I take 7th Avenue home. So I'm going to do that today as well. And I'll show you what I see. Yeah, so I like Elon launched into space. Coronavirus pandemic, riots, looting, protests, all revolution, all this shit. And honestly, I spent my whole day trying to balance my battery because I've been looking in Jersey at houses, and I kind of like riding around to look at houses in Jersey. It's been kind of relaxing, like just kind of searching and seeing what's out there. No committal, not committing to anything yet. But I just kind of want to see what's out there. Left turn signal. I'd like to go in the bike lane since I'm not going to be motoring for a while. And just want to see what was out there. And I like being able to travel with Erica. And having her on the back of the bike takes some battery life off. And also the problem is, let's say we wind up leaving late. If I pedal most of my way there, which I usually have to do in order to not run out of battery, we wind up getting there by the time it's so late that you can't really see the neighborhood and all that shit. So I want to balance the cells in both of my batteries, because I have two 14.9 SP batteries, not one. And after that, I want to carry them both with me, so I made some XT90 extension cords with me today. It's actually much more difficult to make a proper XT90 than you think. It really is, because if you use too little heat, you can't solder the thing on. You use too much heat, the metal winds up moving around inside of the plastic casing for the connector. And if you're using a 10 gauge wire instead of a 12 gauge wire, it's really difficult to get an 8 or a 10 gauge wire to fit in there, because by the time you have it perfectly fit in there, you've probably moved the iron around a little bit, and by the time you move the iron around a little bit, those little metal cups that hold the solder start moving, and it's such... I'm ashamed to admit this, I really am, but whatever, there's more disgusting things that I should be admitting in life. Is that it took me about 2 or 3 hours of fucking with it to get something that was even remotely good, and I couldn't get that plastic piece that closes it to go on after the connector, so I just wound up using a couple of pieces of heat shrink. It was so shameful. It's like so many years of doing this is something that's so much ridiculously more complex than soldering a connector for a living. And I can't solder a fucking XT90. It's just, it's so embarrassing. Because the other XT90s I did went fine, and that one was like, you ever have that where you just lose a skill that you've had for a while, or you try to do something that should be ridiculously basic, and you fail at it, but it's not like you fail once, but you fail so badly at it that you just kind of wonder You know, you look at your ID, you look at yourself in the mirror and wonder, am I the same person? So as you can see, this is way different than it was just a few nights ago. There's nobody out destroying windows. There's nobody out, destroying shit. So either the looters and rioters have gotten tired, they have found something else to do, or the NYPD did their job. It's one of the above three. You know, maybe the NYPD ran over the rest of them like they did. You know, I was watching that footage with Erica. It kind of fucked me up. The thing around Flatbush Avenue, when you see the NYPD cruiser kind of go over, just like, push the people, gave them like a little love tap, and then just barged right through them all when they were blocking the street. And at first I thought, those people look like they're about to kill him. I don't know. I'd probably do the same thing, which is clearly, to be clear, why I'm not a fucking policeman. Because if I were a policeman, it would be kind of the same as if a policeman was a board repair person on their first day. I'm not qualified remotely for that job. So I'm thinking to myself, yep, that's probably what I'd do. I'm not sure what else you're supposed to do. And then I see the video of that Michigan sheriff. And it's like, oh yeah, dumbass, that's why you're not a policeman, Lewis. That's why. Because that's what you're supposed to fucking do. And, they had seemingly angry mob of protesters out in front, and then he turned these protesters into allies like that. He engaged them, he listened to them, he made them feel valued, he got them to all the good shit like that. And by the end of the night, they felt like they really had the start of a new relationship between law enforcement and their community. And it was a beautiful thing. That's why you leave the job to people who are good at doing it. Because people that fix boards are just going to look at what they see on the screen and go, yep, that's probably what I would do. I wouldn't know what to do in that situation. But yeah, that's why I fix motherboards. Hell, I can barely even do that. I can't even solder a damn XT90. Interesting. So these people wrote, oh, look at this Zara. Check this out. Yeah, these looters got taste. Nothing left to take. Wait, but how do you know that? Who wrote that? See, if the looters wrote that, they would know. But if the store owners wrote that, that could be fake. There could be stuff in there to take. It's really hard to tell, because they didn't sign it. See, if they had signed it and said, sincerely, totally a looter, not management, then, you may be able to believe it. But since they didn't sign it, you don't know who wrote it. Ah, crap. I'm going over all this glass shit. I hope these Moto X tires last for a while. This is Schwalbe Moto X tires. I've always really wondered about Fifth Avenue because Fifth Avenue is where you have so many stores that sell shit that most normal people can't afford. And they flaunt it so vagrantly. They have these beautiful storefronts with no gate, with all the expensive shit in it, right alongside all the normal stuff. And I always wondered, why is it that the stores that have the most expensive stuff are the ones that don't have gates? And someone said insurance, but it's like insurance never pays out. I guess they pay out if you're a multi-billion-dollar business, because if you're a multi-billion-dollar business, you have the money to hire an army of lawyers to fuck with the insurance company and make their life a living hell if they don't pay out, whereas small businesses don't. So I guess to them, it doesn't really matter. They'd rather have the better aesthetic and just have someone file an insurance claim. It creates jobs. All right, Union Square is usually where there's a bunch of protests and shit going down. So let's ride by there and see what we got on Union Square. Damn. It's either I left out a possibility there because I said A, protesters found something better to do, B, they got tired of it, or C, the NYPD did its job. There's also D, coronavirus affects young people much worse than we actually thought it did. There's always that. Man, as someone who is really leaning towards maybe the National Guard is needed, riding around it really does not look like the National Guard is a necessity here anymore. Like in the beginning, I was kind of thinking it would be because you could not walk down the street a night or two ago without seeing someone looting or destroying a business. And we're not talking about, smash the large evil capitalist system stuff of people breaking in a Best Buy. Those fucks charging me a restocking fee on something that was broken of 15%. Had to file a chargeback. Pricks. Won't see me shed a tear for Best Buy, but anyway. But they were doing, they were bashing in the small little Korean grocer and all that shit. It just made, the not Korean grocer, Korean restaurant, kind of made me sick. It really made me sick. Because at that point, like, you're not smashing above you, you're kind of smashing your neighbor. But as you can see, like, this is pretty much, this is pretty tranquil, I gotta say. Again, to be fair, to be 100% fair, it was not like this it was not like this a night or two ago. It really wasn't. I rode out of my store expecting to be riding through a fucking war zone. But this is really incredibly tranquil. And as you can see, every single store has their windows boarded up, like every single one. So it's not like there was nothing going down here just a day or two ago. Because if there was nothing going down here, all these stores would not have bought up all these plywood. They wouldn't have been giving Eugene an excuse to use OSB instead of plywood if they didn't have to. But they did. You know what I'm actually curious about? What's really killing me? I want to see if they looted my old store. Because I was thinking of putting a sign up that said, find all computers at all computers are at the 186 First Avenue location. Here's where we store all the broken ones. You need to solder, diagnose, you need to reball SMCs and shit. You don't want to do that. Go to 186 First Avenue. That's where all the good stuff is. I'm kind of curious if that store got broken into. Let's see. Is my glass broken? I paid good money for that glass. I replaced that glass. 3 fucking times. People say you left that place in such despicable condition. Yeah, you mean like in contrast to how I got it, when there was no fucking glass in the frame of the window because the entire frame was broken. And then I replaced it and paid $6,700 to have a nice storefront put in. But you left it so bad because there's Cat 5 on the floor. Wah! And you left him a box of e-waste to throw out. Wah! Fuck that. Put like $20,000 into making that place better. Anyway, let's see what we got here. How is old Rossman's store? You know what's kind of fucked up? I'm actually going to be really sad if this got looted. I'm going to be really sad if this got looted. Because it means they looted my memories. What do we got here? Rossman Repair, First Avenue. By the way, can you people fucking believe how empty this is? Like, this is not Manhattan right now. This is what it looks like in, like Kentucky or Wisconsin or Pennsylvania or Florida. Like, this is not New York. I don't know if I've done a bunch of streams where I'm going home before. Maybe I have them on the live channel or the the GoPro live channel before I stop posting them. I don't know if I still have them published or if they're deleted or what. But there used to be, like, on a Thursday night, they would be so packed I would not be able to do this circle in the street. You would hear nonstop screaming. Just for you to be able to hear me, I'd have to be yelling into the microphone rather than normal. But this is fucking empty. This isn't even Corona empty. This is end of the world empty. This is crazy. This is really crazy. Anyway, I'm gonna pedal on over to Williamsburg Bridge area. Kind of wonder if the businesses are going to remember yesterday. Okay. It's Westville. I used to love getting my lunch there. Great food place. I kind of miss it. 7-Eleven's boarded up. You know how much shit they got when they tried to put a 7-Eleven on St. Mark's Place between 2nd and 3rd? My God. I have not seen a company get protested that badly and tossed out and windows broken over and over again in a long time. That's the thing. A lot of what's been brewing here, you have to understand it's been brewing for a really long time. It's been brewing for a really long time. It's really not all just about George Floyd. Like, there are a lot of people pissed off that a lot of what made the city great has kind of been replaced by Chase and Bank of America and 7-Eleven and all this other shit because it's impossible for normal people to afford anything here anymore. And that's part of what makes it all sad. Inflation and fiat currency and real estate corruption and just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. I kind of wonder. I was really expecting these protests to drone on for a very long period of time. Like, is it that they all got tired? Is it that they all got arrested? Is it that they not even tired, but it's, like, I got to loot a store, I spray painted what I thought, I said my piece, I'm done kind of thing. Like, what was it? I really am curious what it is that gets us from where we were just even a day ago to here, or 2 days ago, where people were banging on my door. The guy upstairs was saying that they were trying to fuck with shit and maybe break in, and I'm blowing an air horn with a light attached to it to try to keep people out, to this. Very tranquil, very dead, very boring landscape of the city. There's nobody there. I'm looking both ways before I go through lights. I'm not crazy. I gotta say, to be honest with you, the biggest surprise out of all of this is that it wasn't solely corporate large stores that got bashed. Because I'm not gonna say it's right one way or the other, but I was really expecting if something like that happened, like the Best Buy, Zara, all these other companies, that they were gonna get bashed in, not all the small ones. I used to have these conversations with my trainer at the gym. One of the things he said is that at some point, when people get too aggravated about the inequality and when people become too aggravated and too angry and too just that corruption and inequality and inequity, that they're going to kill the rich. They're going to loot the rich. And one of the things I used to wonder is, are they going to loot or kill the rich, or is it just going to be such blind anger that it's just going to be everybody? And one of the things I learned from this is that it seems like it's everybody. Nobody there. I know to you people who live outside of New York City, my flagrant disregard for red lights may seem strange. But do understand, in New York City, if you're a cyclist or a pedestrian, people just pretend the lights don't exist. It's just normal. If you start braking your bike at a traffic light, the bikes behind you actually get mad at you because you didn't just wave straight through. Like, I will stop if I am not in the middle of a national combination of pandemic plus rioting that has left the streets completely fucking empty. But since we're not, I am looking to my left, then looking to my right, and when I see that there is nobody in the street, then I go. And I would likely not do that if I was in a vehicle capable of doing more than 9 miles an hour. But since I'm mostly pedaling here, yeah. Kind of breaking the law by being out after 8 o'clock anyway, but I'm an essential. I consider these talks that we have late at night very essential. So tranquil. It's crazy. I was expecting this to slowly dwindle down over the next 2 weeks. This is nuts. This is nothing. It's completely effing empty. Here we go. The bridge is filled with armed policemen. Yay. Alright, so how do I... How do I explain to them that our conversations are essential? Yeah. They don't seem to care. I guess I can stop pretending I'm pedaling now. I should pedal. I haven't done cardio in a few days anyway. Damn, I am one out of shape fat ass. They must have been able to tell that I'm essential. You know what they say, Forrest? Essential is as essential does. One of the things I'm curious about, I was arguing this with a friend the other day who thought the whole idea of National Guard in American cities was fucking crazy. I thought it was crazy. I wasn't for it. But I liked the idea of that threat hanging over the heads of the mayors and the governors so that they could get shit in order. You can't have small family-owned restaurants left and right that have already gotten themselves ruined by coronavirus, like they're already bankrupt. Also have everything ripped out of their place, so now they don't even get their security deposit back from the landlord because you don't want to stop rioting. No. I think it would be easier if things were less messy. I realize that's a ridiculously basic thing to say. But, like, if you ask the police to be more strict with getting rid of riots, most of the police are going to do their job properly. But then a small percentage, as Apple would say, are then going to use excessive force or just get pissed off at people because they've had a 14-hour day, beat someone that they shouldn't be beating, or just fuck with someone for the hell of it after a bunch of aggravated interactions when someone mounts off. And there's going to be a little video of that. And that's going to get circulated to the whole world. You're going to be known as the mayor or the governor that supports police brutality at a time when people are protesting against police brutality, which is bad. But if you could trust that if you said, listen, let people protest, but once they start throwing bricks through windows or mobbing people or like having 15 or 20 people run into a place, beat up the owner, take their shit and leave, then would you mind arresting those people, but like not the protesters? If it was that, if the world were that easy and that simple, then it would be simple. Then it would be easy. But it's not. And that's the thing, it really only takes a couple of people doing something terrible for that to not work. You know, it's really easier to pedal when you don't have 50 pounds of shit strapped to your bike, like I do. Like, this thing is so much heavier to pedal now than it was when I got it. My God. But it's worth it for the fun. So much of life is dictated by the edge cases like that. And for all I know, all those cops at the end of the bridge are lovely people that do their job according to the book and have soul, empathy, humanity. I remember this one story from last year. The police got called to Whole Foods because this woman was robbing or stealing shit. And she was stealing food. And the cop comes in. He doesn't arrest her. He doesn't scream at her. He goes to the cashier and just pays her bill. You know, there's a lot of people that are like that. But just based on the fact that there's, like 35 or 38,000 NYPD, man, you know, at least 20 of those people are going to be complete fucking sociopaths. Complete, just based on the numbers. Just based on the numbers. You take 38,000 of any group of people, and it's difficult to weed out the sociopaths. Did I say breed out? I guess it's difficult to breed out sociopaths as well. It's hard to tell. And when you give people authority, It's about the edge cases. When you say be more calm, it's more difficult for the edge cases, for the sociopaths, to get away with doing terrible things. But if you say you need to crack down on riots, that's not something that's easy to do. That's not something that's straightforward. That's an us versus them thing when you want to crack down on mob. And that's going to end with people who are not good with dealing with people, maybe are a little sociopathic, doing shit they're not supposed to do. I think governors and mayors would be more open or more comfortable using that level of force if they knew that that those edge cases did not exist. Like if they could sleep at night knowing that if they gave an order, there was no worry about this small sociopathic part of their law enforcement body that they'd have to worry about in a position of power doing something that's completely disgusting. Like sitting on someone's neck for 8 or 9 minutes. I really do wonder if you write it into the contracts that there's a specific retirement fund, and every time the families sue, it comes out of that specific retirement fund rather from taxpayers. If you'd see more of your fellow servicemen saying, hey, like, can we just do like 2 minutes on the neck instead of 8? Just saying. Because let's say it's racism. Let's say it's not a cop just being a cunt, a dick, a douchebag, power-hungry prick. It's easier to feed into people's selfish, self-interested greed than it is to cure racism or remove it from a police force across the country. Because the thing is, with racism, you need to remove it. That's difficult, But self-interest, they already have that. So it's like you're really just acting on an instinct that they already have rather than trying to change an instinct. Because changing an instinct, I can tell you as a manager, that's you can't do that. It's really difficult. You just got to get rid of the people. And that's why I always kind of laughed when I heard people talk. Like, apparently, I'm 2 employees away from having to have everybody sign up for this sexual harassment seminar and training thing. It's one of those reasons that I'm likely never going to go above 14 employees as a company. If I do, maybe I'll start Rossmann Repair version 2. Seriously, because it's such a waste of time. And I know I'm going to get so much shit for this, and I know this is why I'm never going to be able to run for mayor or governor or anything, because they're going to take this little fucking clip out of context someday and use it to say that I don't care about women. But I had this one guy working for me. It was a shift about a year and a half ago. And he was talking about how this new customer service person that I had in training, he made this comment in passing about how he'd like to bang her in the ass. And he didn't even have this self-preservation, the intelligence to do it when she wasn't in earshot. This gentleman was 2 years older than me. There's no fixing that. I had to fire him on the spot. Like, you're 32 years old. You know at 32 years old that that's wrong. You don't need me to tell you that. You don't need a class to tell you that. If you need a class to tell you that, I can't help you there. There is no class that's going to help you there if you, as a 32-year-old man who has grown up, who has had jobs, who has been socialized, who has been around other people, thinks that is something that is okay to say on the job and not get you fired. Like me taking you to a class where they're going to explain to you, see, if you're at a job and you see a girl that you think is cute, you shouldn't say you want to fuck her in the ass within earshot of her and customers because that's wrong. It doesn't work that way. It really doesn't work that way. It's not. I can't change you. The class is not going to change you. You chose to be that way. You know it's fucking wrong. You don't need education to tell you that that's fucking wrong and stupid. Wrong to say, but also stupid that you're at work and you're within earshot of the person you're talking about and your direct fucking boss and you said it anyway. It's like, I can't. Education is not going to solve that. Me firing you is going to solve that. You having to sit there and wonder and think to yourself, I was right about to buy myself the new gaming computer, and now I can't afford to. Why? Okay, because I got fired. Why did I get fired? Yeah, it looks like I did something. Well, I didn't really think it was that wrong, but the last 3 jobs I had, they all fired me because I did stuff like that. Maybe I should ask other people what they think of my actions and why it is that it's wrong and reflect on it a little. Like, a class is not going to do that. I can't teach you. I don't think you... Good luck teaching people that are set in their ways for 20 or 30 or 40 years to not be racist. Man, that's going to be hard. My dad told me from my grandpa what solved it for him was that one of his neighbors became a good friend of his, and my grandpa eventually wound up shedding a lot of his prejudices as a result of, like, it only took one person becoming friends with him to just completely change the way that he saw the world. But that still took years, you know? Like, we don't have years for this. We need the George Floyd shit cases of the world to stop now. You know? Hey, you would be making this much per year in retirement, but now you're gonna make this much because this dude did something stupid. Oh shit. Oh man, that sucks. Oh God, how can we stop this in the future? So then maybe, when somebody's doing some stupid shit, like someone's already handcuffed, they're already down, they're already out, you have 3 of your fellow officers around you, you're in no danger of anything, the person is handcuffed, they cannot hurt you, they are not Jackie Chan, they're not going to beat your ass while handcuffed. Maybe you just kind of consider that enough. And if you don't, maybe your partners who wouldn't want to make an awkward situation, who wouldn't want to, have awkwardness in the break room, or have to deal with you being mad at them, will say, you know what? Fuck that. I'm okay with having an awkward situation. I'm okay with saying, hey, cut that shit out, it's wrong, even though we work together, because I want to have a retirement. I want to live someplace when I retire that's not in this crappy-ass little apartment in this shithole city. I want to move to Fort Lauderdale. I want to buy a nice house in Fort Lauderdale. I want to move someplace nice. I want to have a house in the mountains and a vacation home in Vermont. Like Bernie Sanders. You know? That would be something. Can you incentivize people to not be pieces of shit? Can you incentivize people to be a little bit more on the cautious side? I think you can. But again, I don't know jack shit about policing. I will openly admit that I know jack shit about policing. Those 2 women are looking at me like I am from Mars. You're breaking curfew. Don't you stare at me like I'm the only one breaking curfew. If he can go through the light, then so can I. He's an essential worker. Essential transcends red lights. Essentialness transcends color. Transcends traditional means of telling people to stop and go. Where's the light for stop, wait, go, and essential? We need a new color up there. Maybe it'll be orange or blue, but it'll be that color all the time. And if you are essential, you can just go like this, and go, and vroom. I will catch up to you even though you jaywalk, because you have an arrow, and I have a self-built Bafang with an ASI BAC 800 controller and an EM3 EV 14.9 SP battery. Which if it was a 14.6 SP, I wouldn't be able to catch up to it. Which is why EM3 EV has got to get back on their shit and start making these 14.9 SPs again. No, seriously, watch this. Look at this. If this is not the best endorsement of EM3 EVs I've ever done. Oh shit. That person is screaming at me. Time to get the fuck out of here. Like, you see that? That is pure, unadulterated speed. crazy. The power! This is what Bruno Power would say in Australia. The power! I'm stealing your catchphrase, and I'm bringing it to America, baby. Oh, that arrow can eat my dust. Essential! Wait till I get this pack balanced, too. Because it probably can't put out the max amperage right now because it's not balanced. The cells are imbalanced. Some are 4.1 volts, some are 3.6. It's all kind of out of whack and shit. But yeah. Alright, so that's pretty much New York City tonight. That's... You make of it what you will. I think that looks like the worst is behind us, unless people just decide to take a break. Maybe there's a good episode of 24 on television tonight, or Family Guy, or some good Family Guy rerun. That's about it. Whoa, I heard a horn. I will see you all in the next video. Thank you for watching, and as always, I hope that you learned something.